The death of 20-year-old Anjali Singh on the streets of Delhi on the night of December 31, as the entire national capital was ringing in the new year. This traumatic event and this traumatic incident has shocked the people of Delhi, and in fact nationwide. It has been the top media headline for the last almost 4 to 5 days. People going into every detail of this case and how this horrific incident has happened, again bringing into spotlight the safety of women in Delhi. Hi, this is Aman Sharma, senior editor with CNN News 18. I'm joined today by Vatsala Shrangi, who's the assistant editor with us at News18.com, who in fact has visited the family of Anjali Singh yesterday. She met her mother, she met her siblings, she met her neighbors, and also Vatsala did a story a couple of days back actually detailing the horrific details in the post-mortem autopsy report of Anjali, the kind of injuries she suffered when she died. Coming first, I think to the Vatsala, if you discussed your visit to the family,
right,
and you spoke to the mother, and obviously the family is very distraught. But there is also this sense of anger amidst the family now over inaction or what happened. How would you describe this, and what does the family now want from the police and from the authorities?
Actually, the family, they are so exhausted and they're not able to make sense of what actually happened. There are so many different versions. Police is saying something else, then TV and other media reports are flashing things, every now and then. Somehow suddenly this prime witness Nidhi, she appeared, and they are like, they've never seen her, they've never heard of her. They are like, what, we don't know her, we don't know anything, we just know that she was dragged. And even though those men, they knew that a person is, trapped under their vehicle, but they kept on dragging her. So they just want them to be punished, to be hanged. Actually they just want death for them.
So hanging, interesting, the family, when it says they need to be hanged, they're also questioning the charges put by the police of culpable homicide not amounting to death, section 304 IPC, and the family is now in fact demanding section 302 murder to be put on these people. So interestingly, if you explain to the viewers what is the difference, 304 is basically if a death is caused due to willful negligence of somebody or a willful act, but the person didn't want to murder the other person, it's called culpable homicide not amounting to death under section 304, while section 302 is clear murder. In this case, I think the key here is that when did Anjali die? Did she die from the hit and run accident, which would qualify maybe under 304, or did she die under the the underside of the car when she was dragged deliberately by the accused? I think that is what the police is also trying to determine in this case, but the family now is very clearly saying that section 302 should be clamped on this in this case. Also, Vatsala, the about Anjali, if we speak a bit about the girl, how she grew up, it's a the family has also gone through a lot, clearly.
Really. So they were anyways like a very distraught and a family that is struggling to make ends meet. Since Anjali lost her father, they've been living with their maternal grandmother, and there are 6 siblings, of whom Anjali was the second eldest. So when her mother, she used to work as a sanitation worker in a hospital and even a school. So 2 years or something, she got a disease. She's on dialysis. So Anjali took it on herself to support the family, because they really did not have anyone else to look after them, to look after her younger siblings, who are like just 9-year-old or 12-year-old, and they're going to school. Anjali could not complete school because of the circumstances. So she wanted her siblings, these little, these boys and girls, to study at least. So she wanted to provide for the family. The scooty that she was riding, she bought this scooty of her own money. And her mother, she said that, the day she left on the 31st evening, it was a Saturday, at 6 o'clock, she was sleeping, and she just saw Anjali being, getting dressed, very happy, very excited. She wanted to go out, and she was like, okay, I'll come back in the morning or late night, because she would work late evenings for her events and all. So her mother was like, okay, fine. And there was no chance of even thinking or imagining something like this would befall them, the very next day.
And
So it's a struggle from the beginning, and it's become even more. I do not have a word to describe how they're feeling. Her siblings have gone numb. Her mother is barely able to speak. They are all just in a state of shock.
and Anjali lost her father, I think, 8 years back.
8 years
And dialysis, if people would know, is not a very it's an expensive treatment. You have to
Right,
undergo at
right.
least twice or thrice a week.
Right.
So it's a mother is a terminally ill patient now. I think Delhi government has said that they will
Yes,
support
yeah.
the family in every possible way. But
They
still, a very very hard time for the family, and to come to terms with a death like this. The
Right.
if you read the post-mortem report, was in fact horrific reading, and we in fact decided to report it so that people should know. So it was a difficult story to report.
Very,
Vatsala reported
very.
that story that her brain matter was missing, her skull cavity was open,
Right.
mud and dirt all over her body, lungs were visible,
Were
ribs were
exposed, yeah.
visible.
Yes.
It was 40 injuries, I think Vatsala reported on her in the autopsy report says. So very very painful, and I would say a very very merciless kind of a
Right.
death here. God forbid anybody has to befall such a such a fate. But the death, and now I think what are the other questions which are now emerging in this case? Obviously the police role in it, the lack of police presence.
Right.
Now there are reports even saying that, even we have reported, there were multiple PCR calls made by people
there were.
saying that this body, but PCR vans couldn't track the
They
shit.
could not track, and they're claiming things like dense fog and other things. But if we see, she was dragged beneath the car for over an hour. So even if the PCR vans, they did come out, they're claiming that they did come out, and there were multiple calls. So it could be a clear case of no coordination, so that they cannot trace the car.
Exactly.
How can you not trace the car for over an hour in that particular area, because the car did not go anywhere further. It was encircling.
It was doing
in
rounds of that area
in the
itself.
same area. So it should have struck them somewhere. It should have had an encounter or something like that, but it did not.
And clearly on the night of December 31st, when
Right.
police security is expected
It's
to be
a
high.
very intensive patrolling, and even on that day, the police chief was there. He said that I'll be patrolling the streets.
Yeah.
And he must have done it till maybe 12, and then other staff was deputed, and they're supposed to be there at least in the wee hours, because that's the time when people come off a party, or they are going back home.
More chances of hooliganism are
Yeah.
expected
Also
there.
accidents, because that's the wee hours is a time when many accidents are reported otherwise also.
The role of, I think, Anjali's friend here, Nidhi, is also come under a lot of focus. She making certain claims about Anjali. Now her family of Anjali has refuted them. Now mother of Nidhi has also come out and
Right.
is attacking the family of Anjali. So it seems like a complete mess here.
Right.
A friend abandoning Anjali after an accident, going home and not informing neither the police nor her family nor anybody else, looks completely inexplicable. The sequence of events, and God forbid people shouldn't have such friends, I believe. Vatsala.
So that is what something the family is saying, that if she had been a friend, they are saying that she must have been an acquaintance, because the police is saying they met. Nidhi has told them that they just met 15 days back. So she could at best be a companion or an acquaintance. They started going to these events together. So they are not even, the family is not even accepting that she could be a friend.
Yeah.
They are very, very, they are in shock by the allegations that have kind of come out of having drunk alcohol, or this is like they're completely denying it. And everybody in her lane, the neighbors, everybody is saying, this cannot be the girl they know. So these things have to be investigated properly.
Exactly.
because-
There is, I think, some character assassination going on about
Right,
Anjali also,
right,
which I
right.
think is highly avoidable.
Right.
And I think the police should now do a thorough investigation, do a charge sheet, and with concrete evidence, and put the family would need closure in the terms of justice. And I
Right,
think
right.
to the depths, every lie detector tests are now being spoken about, that the accused will be subjected to, and should wait for the truth to come out. But a very, very traumatic case of Anjali, which again brings to forth the important issue of women's safety in Delhi. And we would like viewers to weigh in here on this video, that what do they think that the Delhi police can do to make this city more safe for women. Thank you so much for joining us on CNN News 18.